Welcome back to our channel, Soap Fans. Today is an absolutely beautiful day to dive into the most explosive, jaw-dropping drama Los Angeles has ever witnessed. We have a massive, game-changing update that will shake the Forrester legacy to its very core. The heavy oak doors of the Forrester Creations CEO office swing open, and the devil herself walks right into the sanctuary. Sheila has crossed the threshold, uninvited, unannounced, and utterly desperate. This is not a drill. This is not a rumor. This is the ultimate, irreversible turning point in the most toxic, blood-soaked family feud daytime television has ever seen. Steffy Forrester Finnegan, fresh off a transatlantic flight of shattered dreams and broken vows, is about to face her absolute worst nightmare. But this time, the traumatized victim is playing a lethal, high-stakes game of her own. Steffy is sitting behind the massive mahogany desk, the undisputed throne of the Forrester empire, but she is not the composed executive the fashion world knows. She's intoxicated. The amber liquid in her crystal glass is burning through her veins, mixing with the pure, unadulterated adrenaline of the ultimate marital betrayal. The phantom weight of her wedding ring, the very ring she violently hurled at John Finnegan's chest on the sun-drenched beaches of Monte Carlo, still burns on her bare finger. She is radiating a feral, dangerous, and entirely unpredictable energy. The alcohol has stripped away every remaining shred of Forrester diplomacy, leaving behind only a wounded, enraged lioness ready to strike. Then the unthinkable happens. The sheer, unmitigated gall of the nine-toed menace stepping into the executive suite is shocking enough. But Sheila does something that defies all logic. The notorious villain drops straight to her knees. The woman who once cornered Steffy and Finn in a filthy, rain-slicked alleyway, pulling the trigger and leaving them to bleed out in the garbage, is now groveling on the plush designer carpet of Forrester Creations. It is a visual so jarring, so deeply unsettling, that it freezes the air in the room. Sheila's voice trembles as she launches into a desperate, tear-soaked plea for forgiveness. She looks up at the woman whose life she has repeatedly tried to destroy, begging for mercy after the catastrophic stalking disaster in Monaco. She weaves a frantic narrative, claiming that her presence on the Riviera was a mistake born of maternal desperation, a misguided attempt to simply catch a glimpse of the family she is forbidden to touch. The tears stream down Sheila's face, a masterful performance of a broken woman who has finally reached the end of her twisted rope. The promises begin to pour from Sheila's lips, each one more grandiose and desperate than the last. She offers Steffy the ultimate prize, the one thing the Forrester heiress has prayed for since the nightmare began. Sheila swears, with her hands clasped in a sickening display of submission, that she will pack her bags, leave Los Angeles forever, and vanish completely into the shadows. She promises that Steffy and Finn will never have to look over their shoulders again. There's only one condition attached to this miraculous offer. Sheila begs for one final chance to say a proper, uninterrupted goodbye to her son and grandson. Steffy stares down at the kneeling psychopath with absolute, unyielding disdain. The intoxication amplifies her rage, dialing her fury up to a terrifying, lethal frequency. She is completely and utterly unmoved by the theatrical display of tears and groveling. Every fiber of Steffy's being screams for vengeance, remembering the visceral shock of pulling back that beach towel in Monaco to find the monster sunbathing just yards away from a romantic reunion. She remembers Finn's guilty, agonizing silence. She remembers the realization that her husband had packed his mother's dark secret alongside their luggage. But Steffy does not scream. She does not throw her heavy crystal glass at Sheila's head. Instead, her survival instincts take over, merging with her ruthless corporate intellect. Her hand slides smoothly and silently across the polished surface of the mahogany desk. Her manicured finger finds the sleek, metallic edge of her digital voice recorder, a device usually reserved for dictating fashion strategies and boardroom minutes. With a micro-movement completely hidden from Sheila's tear-blurred vision, Steffy presses the button. Click! The tiny red light blinks to life. The trap is officially set. Steffy is no longer just a furious wife. She is an apex predator baiting her prey into a digital cage. The psychological warfare begins in earnest. Steffy leans forward, her dark eyes locking onto Sheila's, and she weaponizes the heavy, suffocating silence of the room. She needs a confession. She needs raw, unfiltered audio proof of Sheila's dark machinations. She knows that Finn is currently on a desperate flight back to Los Angeles, praying to save his shattered marriage. Steffy needs the silver bullet to finally, permanently kill Finn's delusion that his biological mother is a reformed woman. The interrogation commences with surgical precision. Steffy begins to push. She prods the open wounds of Sheila's ego, demanding to know exactly how she pulled off the Monaco ambush. She baits the kneeling villain, throwing calculated insults designed to make Sheila's carefully constructed mask slip. Steffy demands to know the truth about how Sheila manipulated Finn's mind on that airplane, how she twisted a devoted husband into a lying, secretive accomplice. She wants Sheila to brag. She wants the sociopath to take credit for the destruction of the Finnegan marriage, knowing that every single syllable is being captured by the blinking red device on the desk. Sheila, desperate to maintain her submissive posture, begins to frantically backpedal, but the tension in the room is skyrocketing. The atmosphere inside the CEO office becomes thick and suffocating, a terrifying vacuum of oxygen sucked completely dry by pure, unadulterated hatred. The air conditioning in the Forrester building feels like a freezer, yet the room is boiling over with explosive rage. Steffy's voice, laced with alcohol and venom, echoes sharply off the glass walls, cutting through Sheila's lies like a freshly sharpened scalpel. Steffy delivers a verbal smackdown of epic proportions, systematically tearing apart the pathetic changed woman narrative Sheila has been peddling to anyone who will listen. She reminds Sheila that she is not a misunderstood mother. She is a violent, predatory parasite who feeds on the misery of the Forrester family. Steffy's words are relentless, a rapid-fire barrage of truth that leaves Sheila physically shrinking on the floor. The power dynamic in the room has completely shifted. The groveling villain is now trapped in a crossfire of her own making, completely unaware that her potential slip-ups are being recorded for posterity. The climax of the confrontation hits like a physical blow. Steffy stands up, towering over the woman who once held her life in the balance at the end of a smoking gun barrel. With ultimate authority, Steffy declares that Sheila's permanent disappearance is the only gift she will ever accept, but she flatly refuses to negotiate for it. There will be no final goodbye. There will be no touching haze. There will be no tearful embrace with Finn. Steffy brands Sheila exactly what she is, a cold-blooded murderer. She vows that she will never, ever believe the hollow promises of a psychopath who has spent decades terrorizing her family. The absolute rejection hits Sheila like a freight train. The begging stops. The tears dry up in an instant, replaced by that familiar, chilling glint of darkness in Sheila's eyes. The mask is slipping, and Steffy watches it happen with grim satisfaction, praying the recorder is catching the subtle shift in the monster's tone. The room is a powder keg, and the fuse has burned down to the absolute final millimeter. Steffy's refusal to grant the one final goodbye is the ultimate denial of Sheila's delusional fantasy of family redemption. With a voice that brooks absolutely no argument, Steffy delivers the final, devastating blow. She commands Sheila to get off the floor and get out of her office immediately. The eviction notice is delivered with such ultimate disdain, such absolute disgust, that even Sheila is forced to comply. The villain slowly rises to her feet, the submissive act completely abandoned, leaving behind only the raw, terrifying reality of a predator who has just been denied her prey. The standoff is electric, a collision of two unstoppable forces that can only end in total destruction. Sheila turns on her heel and marches toward the heavy oak doors. She does not look back, but the threat lingering in the air is palpable. The door slams shut with a deafening thud, severing the suffocating tension and leaving the CEO office in a heavy, ringing silence. Steffy collapses back into her executive chair, her chest heaving, the adrenaline slowly draining from her intoxicated system. The confrontation is over, but the real war has only just begun. Steffy's eyes drop to the mahogany desk. The tiny red light on the digital voice recorder is still blinking, a silent witness to the explosive showdown that just occurred. She reaches out with a trembling hand and stops the recording. She has the audio. She has the bait. Now, the only question is what exactly she managed to capture. Did Sheila slip up? Did she reveal the dark depths of her manipulation over Finn? Steffy grips the device like a lifeline, knowing that this small piece of technology holds the power to either save her fractured family or destroy her marriage to John Finnegan forever. The stakes have never been higher in Los Angeles. Finn is currently hurtling through the sky on a commercial airliner, desperate to reach his wife before it is too late, completely unaware that Steffy has just gone toe-to-toe with his mother in the heart of Forrester Creations. Carter Walton is likely hovering nearby, sharing that dark, lethal vibe with Steffy, ready to act as the ultimate fixer if this recording proves that Sheila needs to be permanently eliminated. The fashion empire is no longer just a business. It is a battleground, and Steffy Forrester Finnegan has just fired the most dangerous warning shot of her entire life.